Hey, this is Danielle from Black Business Boom and Black on Nashville, and we are live with our real estate expert, Staci Coleman from Arbitrage Brokers here in Nashville, Tennessee. And we all see some crazy things going on with the market. And so I'm so happy that we have Staci and her team that comes to visit us every month and just keep us abreast on all of the different things that are going on in the real estate market. But specifically today, we're going to be talking about, are we heading toward a real estate recession? And I mean, it's pretty evident that there's something crazy going on. And so I'm happy to have an insider here to give her opinion on whether or not we're heading into a real estate recession. How are you today, Staci?
I'm great, Danielle. Thanks so much for having me again this month. And that has been one of the key things everybody wants to know. Where is the real estate market headed? And boy, would we love to say that we know exactly. History is definitely repeating itself, but I don't think that it's going to be what we saw in 2008 and 2009 with the foreclosures and things of that nature. This is what we would consider in the real estate market an autocorrect. With the feds basically raising the interest rates, it's slowing down our buyers for the particular market to kind of help us kind of get back on track with production of homes, since there was not a lot of homes produced and built in the last couple of years due to COVID.
Okay, that makes sense. And I've heard that term autocorrect. And we saw that the Fed intentionally raised the interest rate. And I think they were planning for three raises. Have we seen multiple already, or has it just been the one?
No. So if you think back about 2 months ago in March, we had our very first one. Rates were around 3.5%. Today, they're almost at 6. What people don't remember is we've been at 6, 7, or 8% before, even up to almost 16 in the last 20 years. And it's just like we've gotten used to that 2.5% and 3%. It's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? No, this is really where rates have been and should have been prior to the pandemic.
Okay, that makes sense. So we can really count on there being some additional raises coming from the Fed over the next year or two then.
Absolutely. The rates are going to continue to go up a little bit. They're saying that they're going to top out somewhere between 7 and 9%. So we're telling buyers, hey, I know it's still tough, but if this is what you would love to do, you need to be buying now. You cannot
Okay.
wait. Because we can't predict where the feds are going to go with interest rates, but it has basically stopped a lot of people from being able to buy. They could have been approved, say, 2 months ago for 300 or 350. Well, now you're down to like 250, 260. So the price ranges based on the interest rates are changing very drastically. So you got to kind of get off the fence and buy.
Okay, because that really impacts like your debt to income and all of that. So as
And
the
your
rate goes up, the amount of your mortgage would be higher. Therefore, people are getting qualified for less. Am I saying that
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
That is exactly what's happening. And every time the rates go up, it's decreasing at $25,000 to $30,000 every time. So, which could be, and because nobody can lock rates, it's a few lenders around that are allowing you to lock a interest rate prior to you going out and taking a look. But most of the time, they don't lock the interest rates until you
So
actually
there's
find a
offer.
home. So, what you approved for yesterday, and if rates come out every day at 10 a.m., depending on where you are, you may not qualify today versus what you were yesterday.
Oh my God, that is crazy and it's scary. And especially in a market like in Middle Tennessee and what we're seeing where it was already difficult, like the house prices are up and it's already been difficult for just your average person to go out and beat out investors and all of the folks that are moving into this market from, California, New York, where they're used to paying $500,000 for a house, so it's really a scary time for the everyday person who's just wanting to invest in their future by, getting some property for their family. So that is really, but you suggest go ahead and make a move right now. Because I know some people are like, well, let's wait and see what happens. But you're like, go do it. Excuse me.
I
Right
would
now is
definitely
the time
say
to move because we don't know what's going to happen in a few months or even a year from now.
That is definitely where we're headed. And with the inventory, we're going to get a little bit more inventory. I would say somewhere in that late third quarter to the first of the fourth quarter, just from a production standpoint. But yes, but we don't know what those rates are going to be. So, yes, I would say if you're on the fence, get off the fence, go ahead and buy. You can't build wealth by continuing to stay in your apartment and on the fence while you're trying to figure it out. But yes, I would definitely say go ahead and buy.
And are there some things that in the meantime folks can be doing to better position themselves to be able to go out and buy, if they should they be working on their credit? Like, are there things that they can do to ensure that they are getting the best rate? And I know you're not a mortgage expert, but I'm sure you
Right.
have some thoughts.
I would say definitely be working on the credit. I know they say cash is king, but credit is king too. That and saving as much as possible. What we've also seen in the last 90 days, which has never happened almost in history, is that the first time homebuyer programs that most people use, which is like THDA, the housing fund, not so much NACA, but some of the other ones, they have increased their rates for first time home buyers to be able to get seconds for down payment and closing cost assistance. So that has been detrimental as well. They're at 6%. Um, One of the programs is at 10% for you to get down payment and closing costs for them. So my suggestion is, hey, talk to other people, maybe crowdfund, maybe not going on vacation if home ownership is, kind of what your goals are for 2022, and save that money along the way. Tap into your 401k if you have money there, but trying to get money from the first time homebuyer programs right now, the debt to income ratios are much lower and the buyers aren't able to utilize those funds at the percentage rates that they currently are. So making sure your credit is good to go and you're staying on your job because people are moving jobs right now. I don't know why, but and then making sure that you're cash heavy to be able to potentially pay your own down payment and your closing costs because sellers are not doing it right now and the first time home buyer programs are just the rates are just extremely high.
Man, that is crazy. We are living in some really strange times, I tell you. Like, it is just really crazy and really unfortunate that, especially like I said, in the Middle Tennessee area. Here, I think it's a much different, not a much different, but a little different than what we're seeing across the country because homes are just in such high demand with so many people coming to the area. Do you see that changing at any point in the next year or so? Like, a lot of folks think that they're going to wait it out and it's going to bust, but do you see that changing in the next couple of years?
Well, they're saying what we're seeing right now is kind of the recession. We started seeing it back in March. And if you haven't been around in the real estate industry, you didn't see it coming, but it's like, oh, what is happening? Yeah, okay, we're here and we've been here. And most of the time, you're looking at 12 to 18 months before you physically actually see it, kind of hit home. But yes, it's not going to bust like it has in the past. Like I said, that 2008 to 2009, where we were flooded with a lot of foreclosures. We do still have foreclosure or what we call shadow inventory for foreclosures due to the eviction moratorium. So you're going to see some of them start to come back, but a lot of those banks are going to try to rent those. We've seen that before because the people don't have anywhere to go. Rental rates are extremely high. They went up 35% in 2021. That's the most that they've ever been as far as like an increase. So it's going to still be as lucrative as it has been, and our economy here in Nashville is very likable to a lot of companies. So they want to come here. They bring a lot of jobs. I was looking at an article this morning that Clarksville, there's a developer there that's going to build 120 townhomes there. That's going to be about $30 million, give or take. But they have over 1,000 jobs coming into Clarksville, where
Yeah.
Nashvillians didn't want to go to Clarksville. Clarksville is the most affordable place right now to even go. So we're going to continue to see companies coming into our area, bringing jobs, and that's going to bring more people here that are going to need housing.
Okay, man. And one thing I wanted to that you said that I wanted to make sure that we talk a little bit about more about is your 401k. Like, because a lot of folks they've been invested in the 401k, hopefully, and getting that match, and they're thinking they can't touch it until 59 and a half or 65 or whatever. And you actually can, as a first time home buyer, you can pull from your 401k without being penalized. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and the importance of that right now as you talk about, having that cash on hand?
Absolutely. So having the money in your 401k, it's not making a lot of money right now because the rates are, kind of what they are. But with your 401k, it will allow for you to make a one-time draw for your first-time home buyer, for you to be able to purchase your first home. Now, what I would suggest is to get with the lender when they're looking at your assets. Make sure that you disclose that you have a 401k, that you could potentially tap into, and they can go over with you what the protocol is, what needs to happen, because there is some specific guidelines that they do follow in order for you to be able to count those funds toward your purchase. So I would say definitely be in contact with your lender and get that information from them so that you can follow the proper protocol to be able to utilize those funds. But that is also a really great way for us to be able to purchase homes. And not only that, some of our family members, moms, dads, grandparents have equity. I would also suggest, asking them to help fund your home purchase by allowing you to tap into some of their equity, to be able to help with down payment and closing cost assistance so that everybody can build wealth.
That is an amazing point. It really is. And I would love to see more of that in our community. You mentioned like crowdfund for your down payment. I think that's an amazing thing to consider. And many times folks don't even think about, like, I can ask my family because a lot of times their family don't have nothing either, but like you said, if they have equity in the home and they can do a home equity loan or line of credit to pull out some equity, or even do a refinance, and cash out, that is definitely an opportunity, especially if you have older folks that you're going to get the house anyway, and
Right.
if they pass, you're going to get the house anyway. So why not accelerate, the process of building wealth within the family by tapping into that equity? I never even thought about that. Like, I, as a business owner, we hear a lot about, like, a friends and family round of asking
Mhm.
for people to invest in our business, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about how you can go to your family to invest in your first home, and I love that concept.
Well, and it's no different than we have one of my preferred lenders. They have a program for people that are getting married. Well, most people already have their own stuff. Well, don't ask people to buy you gifts from your registry. Ask them to basically give you money towards your home fund me, so that you can help with your
Hmm.
own down payment and closing cost assistance. So you can get just as creative as you would like, even down, like I said, to don't do the vacations, put that money away. There's more than enough opportunities for you to save money if this is really what your goals are, to be able to build wealth with home ownership.
I love it. This was fantastic. Really great insight. It's time for us to make these moves, and like you said, get off the fence, stop thinking about it, at least talk to someone, see what your options are, start to, plan, even if it's going to be later on in the year or next year. You need to have the conversations and start to do the planning. So with that being said, Staci, how can we reach out to you or someone at your team, on at Arbitrage, to learn more about getting started with the home buyer process?
Absolutely. So you can reach us at info@arbitragebrokers.com or 615-905-9625. And we have a plethora of different agents that specialize in different things here at our firm. And we are a boutique, so we would love to be able to service our own just like we are. We are minority and woman owned, and we're Black.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Stacy. This was really informative, for me, and I'm sure for everyone who tuned in. Just a lot of great information. And again, it's time for us to get ready and not be behind the eight ball. So I appreciate you so much for coming every month and just educating us on what's going on in the industry so that we can stay ahead of the game. And we'll see you again very, very soon.
Sounds good. Thanks,
All
Danielle.
right.